Welcome back to Friday's Nugget as we share some final thoughts and insights. Today's lesson begins with the thought from Acts of the Apostles. The warfare against self is the greatest battle that was ever fought. Which leads me to ask, how in the world do we win the battle against self if indeed it is the greatest battle we will ever fight? Maybe the answer to that question lies in Hebrews 6 and 18. So God has given both His promise and His oath. These two things are unchangeable because it is impossible for God to lie. Therefore, we who have fled to Him for refuge can have great confidence as we hold to the hope that lies before us. Paul's point is this: what anchors his soul, what keeps him from drifting, is the fact that he knows who God is. Paul knows who God is because, like the Hebrew believers, he has an intimate and personal relationship with Jesus. And as long as he stays connected to Jesus, he will never drift from Jesus. Our lesson started out with a warning. Don't drift, because if you drift, you might not come back. And now it ends with a promise. You won't drift if you are anchored to Jesus. The disciple John wanted to become like Jesus, but he had a problem. He was more a son of thunder than a disciple of the Prince of Peace. And there were times when, to his dismay, the thunder rolled. So what was John to do? He did the one thing Jesus told him to do: follow me. John kept his eyes on Jesus, and Sister White writes in the Acts of the Apostles that under the transforming influence of the love of Christ, he did become meek and lowly. How did John win the battle against self? Love. Love for God more than a love for himself. And it was this love that transformed John, and later on, that same love would anchor him in the face of persecution. Warnings are there to protect us from doing the wrong thing, and promises are there to encourage us to do the right thing. And according to Paul, the best thing you can do is stay connected to Jesus. Those were some of our thoughts and reflections for this week. Now it's your turn. Join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Sabbath School at Nepean, and let us know what you took away from this week's lesson. And one more thing, come back and join us next week as Seth shares with us some of his thoughts regarding next week's study entitled Jesus, the Mediator of the New Covenant. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Sabbath.